Okay. So this is my first hangout in about 18 months.
It's been a while, Zanny.
It has. It's season 2. I need to take a long time off. I'm like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy to have Laura, who is creator of a great group on Facebook called FEUK'ers, which is Flat Earth UK. And basically, the idea of the group is to meet in real life and not just online, like get connected with real people. So I just want to take you back a little bit before FE and like kind of tell people how you came upon the subject and what gave you the inspiration for your group.
Okay. Before Flat Earth. Well, you know what? It was my cousin, Donna, said to me, "Oh, my sister's into this new theory that the Earth is flat." And I did do the typical global response, patted her on the head. There, darling. I've seen the curvature and what holds the water in. You know, your sister is wants to watch herself because that's fucking crazy. And then a couple of weeks later, a online friend of mine, Araya Summer, she'd been sharing some links with me and we'd been chatting about different truths. You know how you do. Oh, have you heard about this truth? You heard about that truth? And she sent me a link to Flat Earth blog, the Conjecture Views one by Deanne Earl. And I read this blog and was just, it was like mind blowing. You know, it was like that. Fuck, it could the Earth be flat? Like, it wasn't that I instantly believed it, but I could actually instantly see that there was the possibility that it was true. And just spent months obsessively watching videos and learning and reading in the only Flat Earth group that was on Facebook at the time, reading every thread and every comment, and until, you know, I just realised it was flat. And I think it was about 4 months after that we set up the original UK Flat Earth group.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then sort of, I don't know, you know, there's the usual silly fallouts and things, and then FEUK'ers was born, with the camps being the main kind of focus of it. My past work experience was a partnership manager for a software company, so and before that I used to arrange family events like fun days and just good things for families, setting up children's centres and that. So I don't know, it just felt like I could bring my life experience to Flat Earth and use it to connect flatmates, basically. You know, it's a real lonely experience. When you find Flat Earth, it becomes really important to you and you want to share it with family and friends. And most family and friends will think you're completely nuts. Some of them will not want to have anything to do with you anymore. So, you know, I just thought, well, try and unite some people. And yeah, here we are.
And so it's just grown from there, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, it's not just me. There's a group of us. It's not just my group. Although my name's above the door, it's the whole admin team. And I think the 6
Oh,
that,
by the way, in case you didn't know,
of which Danny is one. Yeah, I mean, it's all of our babies. I know it's mostly mine in the sense that I do the camps and it's my name above the door, and I'm probably the most obsessed.
Yeah.
But no, it's definitely a team effort, I think, that makes FEUK'ers what it is. The sort of inclusive, friendly vibe that we've got going is down,
Yeah.
you know, the relationships we've all got.
It is. From experience, from going to these meets, and I've been to quite a few, they are a very positive experience, because you don't get a chance to sit down every day and talk to different people from all different walks of life, and share your experiences and your thoughts and your ideas. The other thing that I found really good was it doubles for me as family holidays.
Yeah.
You know, I'm bringing the kids
and definitely. It's great, isn't it, as well, to run around in fields and enjoy nature.
So the first meet that we did was kind of a big one, and we didn't have a lot of time to organise it.
Yeah.
And you came up with the idea to recreate the Bedford level experiment, which we tried to our best to do, and that was, I think, the best summer that I've had in quite a few years. I didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how many people were going to turn up.
Yeah, I know.
We had a rough idea, but it well outweighed our expectations, I think. How did you find it?
Yeah, it massively passed my expectations. I honestly thought there'd be 6 of us sort of trying to pull this together, and I think I can't even remember how many turned up for the day kind of thing, but there must have been like 30, 40 of people there. And just the atmosphere was kind of quite electric, wasn't it? You know, when Matthew was all set, it took a while to get him set up, and then when he was set to go, and Dave Moore did like a little talk, it just felt like, I don't know, like a moment in history. It probably sounds a bit grandiose, I don't know, but to me it did. It felt like a moment in history, like it was really important what we were doing.
It was a moment in history because, well, for 2 reasons. One, we were trying to recreate something that seemed to have been forgotten, and the other, or ignored. And the other thing was, it was the start of something, because it was the first official meet that the group had. So, like, all the team had met before at various different places, different people's houses, but that was the first time that a bunch of strangers off the internet got together, you know.
And met in a field.
Yeah.
I know. It was really, really great times. And, you know, from that very first time, I made lifelong friends. You know, it's hard to explain to people that haven't been, isn't it? The bond that you form in a very short space of time when you meet people that are on your level.
Yes.
And you're in nature, and you're for that little weekend, it's like a slice of freedom. For that little weekend, you know, it's free. It's like a taste of what life should be like. And
yeah, it is like a taste of freedom. I don't know about anybody else, but for myself personally, I've always felt like a prisoner, like, you know, like I'm being contained, and I'm not allowed to express myself the way I want to, you know, especially around work colleagues or family. You know, it's like
the conformists.
Yeah, it's like people are embarrassed by me, which makes me embarrassed for myself, and
or embarrassed for them for being embarrassed for you, kind of thing. It's a weird dynamic, kind of.
So yeah, it's just always been really positive.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, I know. I never really expected them to, or knew they'd be as great as they are. Do you know what I mean? And it's not. It's like every person that attends makes it. I mean, you've been to a few, and they're all so different. Similar,
Yeah,
but they're all so different. They've all got such a different feel to them, and I find that just sort of quite fascinating. You know, that the energy is always slightly different, but always really friendly, and everyone's so sharing, cooperative. You know, you're not, the trust levels are really high. You're not worrying about leaving your bag or your camera or your phone laying around. drop your weed and someone finds it, they don't pocket it thinking happy days. They ask, "Oh, did someone drop a bit?" And you know, how many places seriously can you get that level of
No,
trust with strangers?
you don't. And that's a part of society that everyone has to live with. Like there's these levels of paranoia built up.
Yeah.
You know, like when I came to visit you in the summer, and I'm traveling on the tube and the trains, and every time I change trains, there's a poster saying if you see any suspicious behaviour, report it.
Yeah.
And it's like I hadn't even thought about anything like that, but now I'm on edge thinking, is there usually suspicious behaviour? You know, what am I looking for? So
Bag.
and it's the same in the workplace as well. People are always snitching on each other, and so there's this level of underlying paranoia in society that you have to deal with every single day, and it becomes quite overwhelming. But when you get together with a group of like-minded people, that you kind of let that go instantly. It's very freeing, actually.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing, actually, how much you don't realise that kind of mind control impacts your mood. You know, even those of us that are aware that it's all going on, we've still got to try and live in this world. So, you know, it gets to us all. And I think the camps are such a real nice way of getting a bit of release from being trapped in this matrix.
Definitely.
Because it is a trap, isn't it? You know, we're all trying to find a way out or ways to fight it in our own little way.
It definitely feels like a trap to me, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if it weren't a trap, it would be easy for people to go and escape and live outside of it, but it's not. So it's got to be a trap.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always thinking of stuff like that. It really winds me up, like not being able to just freely travel somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I have to pass a certain point where someone's going to ask me for papers and documentation and prove who I am. And
yeah,
it sounds. I think it sounds trivial to some people, but to me, that stuff's really important, and it's a real infringement on my own liberty.
Yeah, like you've got to have a license to do everything. You know, even if you want to play loud music in a field and people have paid to be there, you've got to have a license to play music. Yes.
An entertainment license.
Yeah.
If people are moving, then you need an entertainment license.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go
Really
get a license to do that? Well, why? Why do I have to pay you for something to do that's my right to do?
You even need a license to watch television in the UK. It's like,
I know. How bloody crazy.
Pay for your own mind control.
So glad I haven't paid mine for a few years now.
I've never had one, so.
No, well, I did used to be a slave in a lot of ways.
I should say no. I've never had a license.
No, I've done it. I'm not just not paying it. I wrote them a letter, you know, telling them that whilst they were run by paedophiles and they didn't report on the huge Finchley Road scam, like of money laundering and that out of principle I wouldn't watch any of their programs, so I weren't going to pay for it.
I think that's exactly to deal with.
We'll talk to you in 2 years.
Yeah, no, that's a great way to deal with parasites. Just flip it back on them, and when they can explain the behaviour, I might consider it.
Yeah.
They're making no promises.
That's a word that's coming up a lot lately, actually. Parasites and the nature of parasites.
Well, it is funny because I do feel like there are some kind of energetic parasites. Like there's some kind of spiritual war going on that we're not fully aware of or conscious of. Like it's something wants your soul, you know, and it's like there's temptations all through life. And I feel like
definitely. Quite an interesting guy the other day, actually, that was saying about these elemental or parasites that are just in the environment around us, and we like breathe them in, And if you've got weaknesses or like, you know, glitches in your personality or ego, that they can kind of get control of you, and they either go through your nervous system or spiritually. It was just quite interesting, and it kind of seems to explain a lot of people's behavior.
Yeah.
You know, he was saying people appear, they look like humans, they talk like humans, but it's like then there's the lights off inside.
Something
Like
missing.
zombies. And he was explaining.
I've actually been seeing a lot of zombies recently. It's not something like, it is something I've noticed before, but recently it seems to have doubled. Like it's right in my face. And you know, it's talking about regular people going about the regular day, like maybe working in Tesco's or something, and they're completely vacant. Like you're asking them a question, you need some help. Where's the noodles? What tobacco have you got? And they're just like,
Yeah.
No. I mean, I'm always stood there for like 5 minutes watching them fumble about, like, and I'm thinking, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
where am I? Where am I?
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
strange. So I'm going to change the subject. I do want to come back to parasites, but I want to talk about the Flat Earth sticker campaign that you've had going, because it's been going for a long time now, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, do you know, funnily enough, that was launched at the same time as the Bedford Levels, because we gave them out
Right.
at the first meet up. I've got some here for anyone that doesn't know. Go, there's the Flat Earth stickers. Yeah, we gave them out free, didn't we, at the Bedford Levels, and it just kind of evolved into a competition. The best picture taken, and they'd get a prize, and it just kind of kept going, really. New lot of prizes coming out soon. I think we've got a laser pointer, which bit of a guy's prize, really.
Yeah.
And a flat earth rubber stamp, you know, for doing your notes and things.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah, so we'll have a new couple of prize winners soon. We just got to go through the pictures and pick the winners. But I'm even thinking of putting the choosing of the winners out to the group.
So what are the rules to the sticker campaign? Where can we get stickers, and what do we need to do?
Good sensible questions. Yep, they're on eBay. If you if you just search Flat Earth sticker campaign, there are free listings: £1, a £5, and a £10 bundle. You know, so I think it works out at about 20p a sticker or 25p a sticker or something. Silly like that. So get your stickers, place them somewhere clever with a lot of traffic, just entertaining. Take a picture or take someone with you is usually a bit more fun. Take pictures, load them up with the hashtag Flat Earth stickers, and be into the competition. Like good pictures, you know, the ones that make us laugh or the ones that are just well placed. Win prizes.
Or just stunning scenery.
Yeah, that's it.
I've had a few winners. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but it's been going since last year.
Yeah.
It just seems to get more and more popular with people. People keep joining, and Flat Earth stickers are turning up in all sorts of different locations and places.
I know. I mean, they've made it into the Beast of the Belly of NASA.
Oh yeah, where was that?
Is it Houston, the main NASA place? But someone got them there. They are starting to get a bit more into the US, like not just in the UK. They've made it to the Great Wall of China. They're going to, they've been Spain, Slovakia, France, so Sweden, Denmark. So yeah, Amsterdam. So they are going international now, making their way. which is really cool. And it is really nice when you see a post where someone's like, "Oh my God, I've seen a flat Earth sticker," like, you know, and it's in their area. That's really cool.
It is.
And I
Like
like,
knowing,
you know, you can just leave the message. And I think a lot with the flat Earth for people, the first time they hear it, the general response is it's kind of nonsense. So if the first time they can hear about it is just on a harmless little sticker somewhere, there's no one to argue with, it gets into their subconscious. So maybe the next time they hear about it, they're like, "Oh, I've heard about that. I might look into it," or they might just not be so initially resistant, because that resistance to it seems to be kind of pre-programmed, doesn't it?
definitely. They call it cognitive dissonance. I didn't know what that meant until
I know. I didn't know what a shill was until.
but yeah, basically when something goes completely against the belief that you've been programmed to believe, we have this programming that's built into us that makes us reject ideas before we've even explored them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It goes against what we've been taught. I've experienced it a few times, well, 2 times that I can say. I didn't experience it with flat Earth. When I realised the Earth was flat, that was like a light bulb moment for me.
Mm.
But there've been a few other things.
It's like 8, 9, 10 years or something for you.
Sorry, what was that, Laura?
I said you've been in flat Earth quite a while, isn't it? It's like 8, 9, 10 years.
Oh yeah, not that long. About 5 or 6 years.
Oh right, yeah.
Since the year after I moved to Sweden, it was. It was, yeah, strange, yeah. Because I was all alone and there was no like online community. It hadn't really hit Facebook, and I was still using Facebook as I didn't really understand social media in that way. I just thought it was something to connect to old family and friends that you'd lost touch with or something like that. I didn't realise that you could use it as a platform to share your ideas and thoughts and stuff. So
yeah.
that was a revelation in itself for me.
This group on Facebook.
I know, I feel like an old person sometimes because I'm like so.
I know how long it takes.
The technology, you know. I still have a phone like this that doesn't have any Wi-Fi or anything. I'm quite. I like it like that. I don't like carrying a tablet around and.
Yeah, I know. To be honest, all it does is fucking draw you in anyway. So.
Yes, we end up like those people that go to other people's houses and just text.
All sit round in a circle.
It can be like that.
What a great time you're having. I think that's one of the things with camps, isn't it? That people are having a genuinely good time. Is no fucker can remember to post or take pictures. Do you know what I mean? We've all got, I took 4 photos. You're just having such a great time in the moment.
I usually take photographs on the journey, like in the car or on the look, signpost, and then as soon as I get to camp, that's it. I'm disconnected.
Yeah, I know, but I think that is really just a sign of what genuinely good time people are having, involved in the moment.
Yes.
I mean, group photos. How terrible are we at getting group photos?
We're really bad. If we didn't have John Thor,
I know.
Remember, we'd have no group photos. I don't think.
We just wouldn't have anything.
I don't take selfies. It's terrible.
I know. And if John Smith hadn't joined the group, we wouldn't even have videos.
No, we wouldn't. No.
We'd still be like.
So, another thing that you've been trying to achieve for a while is launch a weather balloon with equipment attached so we can see for ourselves what it looks like
Yeah.
up there,
Yeah.
how it's laid out, and what can we see, how does it look. So how did that come about?
The famous balloon launch. Yeah. It started off just as a conversation in group. You know, I think some school kid had sent an iPhone up and got some good footage, and it was like, oh, come on, we can do this. And when I first looked into it, it really looked quite simple. You know, I think the 600-gram balloons are about, I don't know, 40 quid or something. Filling them up with helium's not that expensive. And I thought, oh, this will be really easy. And then people were like, well, you know, if we're going to do it, we don't really just want to send it 60,000 feet up in the air. We really want to go like 100,000 feet in the air. So then you're like looking at a bigger balloon. And then you're looking at a whole lot more helium. And then people were like, well, you know, wouldn't it be really cool if we had a 360 camera on it? So, you know, you've got a 360 camera, and then people are like, well, we've got to have a non-fisheye lens camera on it. So we've got a non-fisheye lens camera, but you get a limited field of view with one of them. So then you've got to have the old fisheye lens to get a nice wide view. So then you've got quite a bit of equipment that needs a box.
Yes.
And so then you need more helium. So the bigger the balloon and the more helium you need, obviously, the more careful you've got to be with your weather conditions. You can't touch this weather balloon that we've got. You can't touch it with your bare hands. There's warnings, you know, don't touch it because you'll mess with its integrity and how high it can go. So we haven't just gone for a beginner's balloon. We have actually gone for quite a professional balloon. It's one down from what they use for trying to do record-breaking height kind of achievements. So, you know, it's not a beginner's balloon. And it is a community effort. So it's not just my ideas. It's not just my thoughts. We talk about it in group. So it's trying to please as many people as possible, find the simplest way to do it. But, you know, we do want to go 100,000 feet because Google, or I think the official narrative is that you can't see the curve of the Earth before 64,000 feet.
Yeah.
So obviously we need to go above that height for our video to have true purpose. I mean, that's really it. I'm not really looking for any other data other than a good video of a horizon at eye level, and flat. And I think with the 360 camera on the top, it would be really awesome to get one of them interactive videos, you know, that people can play on their phones with. So yeah, the first weather balloon launch, hideous weather, crazy winds, camped right next to what was it, an ELF or an EMF station or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Second balloon launch was that the signals all went down. You know, John Smith had his drone flying on the Friday night, took a little bit of footage, and then on the Saturday he couldn't connect his drone, we couldn't connect the tracker. Josh had a drone as well that uses a different signal band range system. I don't know. That his one wouldn't connect either. So we have been really unlucky.
Yeah.
The CAA requires 28 days notice for a balloon launch. So every time we failed, we've had to wait 4 weeks before we can try again because of notice. So it's been a bit of a headache trying to launch this balloon. But
we have to do it properly. We have to follow the rules, even though I'm like, let's just launch it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally get that mentality. Fuck the rules, you know, bollocks to asking for permission. We're anarchists. Let's just do it. But if that balloon does cause any damage or something does go wrong with it, could you imagine the fun they're going to have with the publicity of flat earthers and their irresponsibility? And I don't know. I just think it's worth trying to do it right and the proper way first.
No, I agree. I think for me, it's really good for me to be admin in FEUK'ers because there's so many different personalities.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was going to say degenerate then, but I'm like the typical, book the system, do it my way.
Yeah.
But then
you definitely are, yeah.
But then there's personalities in there that are like, no, Zanny, this isn't the time or the place. Sometimes that's a good idea. Sometimes that works. But when it's involving other people's time and money and effort, and something could actually from the sky, and it could hit a car or it could hit someone on the head. Who knows? There's a possibility.
I mean, that is that is the other thing. It's like, people are, oh, just fucking launch it, just launch it. Don't matter that the tracker's not working. It's like, yeah, but there's a lot of money's worth of equipment on that balloon. Is there any point in launching it knowing there's a good chance we're not going to find it when it lands? Do you know what I mean? It's not my money. It is my money too. I've put into it, but it's not just my money. It's the responsibility of this is actually everybody's money. Yeah, we could just throw it up in the air and be done with it. Fuck it, it didn't work. What do I care? It weren't my money. But I'm a little bit more cautious and considered than that. And I'm just trying to do it right. I might be not doing it right in the process of trying to do it right, but I'll keep trying. And if we can't get it up in these next 2 attempts that we've got planned, then maybe some other fucker wants to take the equipment and do it their way. I don't know. I'm not claiming to be any expert. I honestly thought I was just organising this and that maybe more people would step forward with help, with research, with ideas. There's been obviously some, but it's pretty much just me and Jay, obviously, kind of doing this, and we've never done it before. So.
Researching weather balloons and the way.
Yeah, I've never watched so many bloody balloon videos.
There's the balloon and what it's capable of. There is a lot to take into consideration.
Yeah, I mean, at first you think, oh, it's simple. You only need a balloon and a phone and off you go. But obviously you need a tracker, and then like you hear that it gets to minus 60 degrees up there. So if you don't protect your phone somehow, you could have equipment failure. So then you're looking at ways to keep it hot or warm, which is more weight. And the more weight you've got, the more helium you need. Feels like a catch-22 sometimes.
No, it's good. You could go and work as a meteorologist soon. Is that what they call it?
I know. I'm going to know about like weight loads and payloads and things that you're knowing about. But we'll get there. We just keep trying.
Would you say that your life has changed since you realised that most of what you know is just what you think?
I mean, it's not like it's not an instant change, is it? It's not like, oh my God, the Earth's flat, everything's changed. It's like a trickle down effect. I think integrity has always been important to me, but it comes back, I don't know, stronger and more potent, if you like. That sense of wanting to give something back becomes a lot stronger. We're encouraged, charity starts at home. Don't trust your neighbours, and all of that's conditioned into us. So I think it takes quite a long time to break down a lot of the programming, social conditioning, lose the fear. You know, there's so many levels of fear, isn't there? Fear your neighbours, fear the paedophiles, fear your children are going to go missing, fear the homeless people, fear that you can't pay your bills, fear that there's a World War III and the world's going to end. It's just fear, fear, fear. So when you kind of start breaking them layers away, it's actually massively freeing, isn't it? As much as we feel trapped in this system, it is on another level completely freeing. Spirit wise, I think it's freeing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a new perspective to look at things from.
Yeah, it's a huge shift of perspective, and that perspective can change everything, can't it? To a situation. You know, if you feel trapped in a situation, you're going to be miserable and feel trapped. But if you look at your situation from a different perspective, well, actually, I'm not trapped, I'm just safe at the moment, for instance, it can give you a completely different mindset. So.
It can. I like the way Petra says it. She says that it's a paradigm shifter where everything changes, but everything's still the same.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
well,
it is crazy, isn't it? Because nothing physical
like nothing's changed actually, but everything is different.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it is. I'm still living in the same house, you know, still got the same family, but everything's different. Yeah. I mean, hopefully you've got a lot of people doing like order following jobs, haven't you? And hopefully it makes people like that look at what they're doing. You know, people that maybe didn't realise that actually what they're doing is harmful to society, their jobs. You know, it kind of makes you look long and hard at what you're doing, I think, to earn your money. We've all got to earn money. This is the horrible way the system is set up. But I think you can control how you earn your money to a certain extent.
Yeah, you can.
And how you spend your money as well. You know, don't spend it in big corporations, and spend locally, spend with the little independent butchers rather than in Sainsbury's or Morrison's or wherever. These little things, I think, can make a difference. We don't feel like we have much power, but actually we've got a lot more power than we realise. And I think that's like the huge thing with Flat Earth, isn't it? It's massively empowering.
It is. I think it makes a lot of people kind of, well, you can't help but give your head a shake and think, where am I and what the hell am I doing? You know, what am I doing? Stood at a bus stop on a grey day with plastic carrier bags, like, whoa. Yeah. And that's the norm for people, like, you know, just go shopping, go to work, pay your bills, and it's just that same routine over and over. And I'm always left thinking there's got to be something more to this place than just this.
Yeah, definitely. That's, I mean, the mentality of people is that, you know, you've got to pay your way.
Yeah, people think I'm crazy. When I say people, I say my family think I'm crazy because I'm always like, you know, does a lion pay its way? You know, when a lion's hungry, it goes out and it gets its food and it eats it, and that's it. You know, there's no paying for water and recycling plastic bottles and that's all bollocks. You know, it doesn't. I'm not saying that we're animals or that I'm a lion. That's just how I always think. Like it.
Yep.
If you do things on a basic level, you know, very simple.
Yeah.
It's easier for me at least to cut right through it.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I always look back to nature if I'm ever unsure. You know, because nature is natural. It just gets on with it. You know, and we don't.
No, we're always worried about other people's feelings, and we become scared to do things and say things in case we upset someone else. which is crazy because then that just stops you from being honest.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be honest anymore because someone somewhere might take offence
Yeah,
to
that's
your honesty.
wrapped up in our own little self-made cages, really, haven't they? Of fear of offence,
Yes.
or a fear of being seen as different, or being laughed at, or whatever. And I think that again is another thing with flat Earth. You know, you're going to face ridicule. You know, people are going to get pissed off with you, but you do it anyway. It kind of blows all that out of the water, doesn't it? All that needing to conform and be seen as normal, sane.
Well,
In this world.
there are occasions when I have to pretend to be me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there's two me.
Yeah.
There's this me, and there's which is quiet and reserved and doesn't have an opinion on anything. Because once they get going, everyone's just like,
yeah.
It's like
it's like, I'm not going to unleash the beast.
Spoil a whole family event, you know, like, oh no, Zanny's coming for Christmas. That's Christmas ruined, you know. Santa does not exist. Don't tell my kids Santa exists, you know. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't really. There are still situations where I have to rein it in and just go along to get out. For the most part, I'm like, I don't care. I feel like it's my duty, like that. Sounds like
I think
I'm a religious person, but I feel like this is what I was born to do. Like I knew when I was a young child that there's something really wrong with the world and the way it's set up. I feel like I'm being oppressed. I feel like I'm being caged in.
Yeah.
And so you can only come to one conclusion that you are being oppressed and you are being caged in. And so you've got to let other people know, and you can tell them, but you can't make them listen, you know. So just say it, and if they don't like it, move on. And that's what you can do.
I think that's the stage for a lot of people, isn't it? At first, you're so passionate about it, you just want to make people listen. And then kind of a bit further down the line, you realise actually that everyone's on their own journey. Some people aren't ready to listen, or, you know, because with it comes a lot of personal responsibility. Some people just aren't ready for that. So I've taken, you know, for me, it's a much gentler approach these days. Those with eyes to see or ears to listen will hear the message.
Yeah.
And those that aren't ready yet don't. You know, I mean, there couldn't be a mass awakening. You know, we all want the truth out there finally. We want that 100th monkey effect. There's enough of us. Let's, boom, everybody's aware of it. But can you imagine the chaos it's going to cause if there was like a huge awakening and people just are not consciously or spiritually in the right place yet to take that truth on? You know, it can be quite destroying. I've seen a lot of people get depressed with the whole flat earth thing. You know, we're being lied to, we're being poisoned in our water, in our air, in our food. You can't, even if you try and buy healthy food, it's still poisoned on some level. That can be really, really depressing for some people.
Yeah. I think that is the point of it, isn't it? To be kind of soul destroying. And that brings us back to parasites and spiritual energy and this kind of battle that's going on somewhere that I feel like I can feel it some days. You know, I feel sometimes I wake up and with this impending feeling of doom. Sorry, but no, there is like it's like, and I don't know where it comes from, but it's there, and you can when you look around you look at the shit that's coming out of the TV and the media, and the stuff children are taught in schools, and like, you know, and the way alcohol is pushed in society, and the other, you know, mind bending pharmaceuticals and stuff, and it's like there definitely is something going on a higher level. Like, I'm not going to claim that I know what that is. I've not got any clue,
No,
but I can feel it.
I mean, they've got to try so hard, haven't they, to bring us down. You know, we've got the pharmaceutical drugs, we've got the chemtrails, we've got fuck knows what in our water. Christ knows what's going on in half of our foods and that we've been eating for generations. They're doing all of these things and we're still surviving. You know, they're really having to work hard.
Yeah, to dull our spirit.
Yeah.
It is hard for them.
What? Oh,
I'm just going to take a toilet. She's gone to the bathroom. Hold a moment.
No worries.
The wrong one. Yeah, sorry about that. I just needed a quick. We was talking about parasites, weren't we? Spiritual battles and not knowing your place in the world, which is one of the big heliocentric doctrines, really, that you have no place in the world, no place in the universe, that you just
like nothing.
An cosmic accident, you know.
Yeah, like nothing you can do can really make a difference. You're just one little person. What can you do?
You came from nothing. You are nothing.
Yeah.
There's no point to anything.
Yeah.
Just do as you're told, and
vast universe.
Everything will be.
Are nothing. You mean nothing. You can achieve nothing. Yeah, I know. And it's control of the senses as well, isn't it? You know, we can't sense movement. We can't see curve. And yet we believe these things exist. We're told that they do. I mean, that is literally believing someone over your own senses.
And that's something that I can't really comprehend. When I was a child in school, and they told me we live on a ball, and I had all these questions about, bendy water and helicopters and airplanes and wind and stuff. And the only answer they ever gave me was gravity.
Magic gravity.
It was just like, you just have to go along with it. It's like, okay, I'm not getting anywhere with this. I can't remember what you were saying, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
You expect me to remember what I said 2 minutes ago?
No. That's terrible. Yeah, they don't give you any answers to anything. They just give you a theory for something.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean,
so
they get you when you're a young kid. They show you a bowl. You say, how do we stick to the bottom? How does the water stay on? They show you a spinning bucket that water stays in. You're too young to understand that there's two different forces being described there. And like, kind of that's it. That's what you're left with for a few years until you're a bit older and they can manipulate your knowledge a little bit more. I mean, I remember my history lesson at school when I first heard about the flat Earth. And I remember the history teacher, at the same time as telling us people used to believe the Earth was flat, he was also telling us how much smarter we are now and how much more sophisticated and civilized we are, and that we know these things, and what a bunch of idiots we were back then to believe in the flat Earth. You know, we was uncivilized, scrabbling around in the mud or caves or whatever. It was just, it was kind of part of the learning. We are superior now, knowing that we live on a ball, than those idiots back in the flat Earth days.
Yeah.
So,
Imagine telling a 5-year-old or 6, 7, 8, it doesn't matter. Imagine telling a child that they're smarter than their ancestors.
yeah.
And
Yes.
that's going to solve a whole load of problems, when we get to the pyramids and things, because I don't know if the pyramids are real or not. They could have built them
Who knows?
the day I was born, they could have been built the day I was born, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, and that was like, oh, well, we don't know how to build them now, but you told me we know more than them. How did they build this? Oh, well.
I know. And the irony is we're actually far more stupid, I think, than our ancestors. We don't
We
have
are.
philosophers and poets and things unless.
There's a Hollywood, sorry to cut you off. There's a Hollywood movie called, I think it's called Idiocracy.
Yeah.
And it's basically two people that get transported forwards in time, and when they wake up, the whole of civilization are dumb as
Fuck.
FEUK'ers.
Yeah.
And they're like, that is how it is now. I remember people saying to me when I was at school, people older than me saying, your exams are easier than they used to be. What I learned was more difficult than what you learned. And that instantly puts a shield up because you're like, no,
You're not smarter than me.
you're not smarter than me. Yeah, exactly. And it instantly puts this guard up where you defend what you're learning because you think, oh, this is more important. I'm more intelligent or whatever. And
Yeah. I've had to work harder for mine.
it's crazy.
Yeah, always pitching us against each other, aren't they? In whatever way they can, whatever form they can.
Divide and conquer.
Fat versus thin, old versus young. This skull versus that skull. This class versus that class. It's just
Put you in houses and things at school, so you're all against each other.
Yeah, I know. Do you know, someone was telling me about one school now, that the classes compete for time in the playground. So the winning team gets playtime and the losing team doesn't. What? They are depriving some children of a break outside and one class against another.
Yeah, you can't play out because you don't remember as much bullshit as this child.
Smart enough to get in the playground.
No, it was strange when I was at school. At high school, especially not or infant school, but when I got to high school, I really got sucked into the whole mentality of it, and I spent the first 3 years collecting what we called merits, which was an award for good work.
Yeah, we had merits, yeah.
And then I was always, getting called up in assembly, come and get your merits, and you've got most merits, you're the best. Yeah. And it was all good for those 3 years. But then all of a sudden, really quickly, almost overnight, I was so bored and just out of my mind, what am I doing here? What's the point?
That's so funny. That is so similar to me at school. Perfect student for the first 2 to 3 years. A's, B's, sat at front of class.
No, in your catch scores, first year 7, I was meant to, I got to 5% out of 300.
Yeah.
That's your 4G.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like the first couple of years, you're all studious and this is great, and then it's the same thing. Don't know what it was. Just thought this is a waste of time. I'm not using this in the real world, and just felt completely fucked off by it all.
Yeah, I did as well, and I remember feeling very isolated. Like I didn't know who my friends were anymore. You know, like everyone was chasing merits, and if I wasn't chasing merits, then I was a bad kid. You know, like
Yeah, that's it. Everyone
yeah,
wants to be
like
prefect, and you know, they tried to make me a prefect, and it still didn't make me go gold. So I gave up on that idea.
I can imagine you with a prefect badge.
Yeah, it lasted about 2 weeks, I think.
Fleeting image. No, I didn't make it prefect. I did.
Yeah, the mind control is shocking, isn't it? When you kind of start to look back on it. I mean, even now, I still find myself responding in a mind controlled or preconditioned way to things.
Yeah. Like something that you learned at school or on the Discovery Channel, or something that's been like bred into your conditioning.
Family member or something.
I'm reading a book at the moment. Like I'm probably the last person to read this book. I'm reading 1984.
Ah, yeah, cool. I haven't actually read it myself yet.
I'm 2/3 of the way through the book, and it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I can't work out if they use people with such good imaginations and they make them write certain stories because they know that when the rest of the population has read it and imagined it, they can bring it into existence.
Yeah.
You know, so, oh, yeah, that it's a really good book. I'm a bit. I can't really talk on it at the moment because I'm still deep in it. But
so is it a good book? Because I tried reading Catch-22 and found it really hard going.
it is a really good book. It's easy to read. It flows well, and it's a good story. There's lots of things that you will you'll be able to mirror into modern society and the way things are, and also see some traps that maybe you've not seen before, and you're like, oh wow, that's why the others doing stuff like that. You know, it's definitely a mind opener. If nobody's ever read it before,
I'll have to dig it out, dig a copy.
I got mine for $7.99 from WH Smith's. There was no discount on this, but
I'll just sit and manifest a copy into my life.
Yeah, no, do. When I'm finished, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, there you go, it worked already.
You know, it's like instantaneous. Think it and it happens.
See how quickly I manifest.
Genius. No, it's very. There's quite a lot of flat Earth references in that book as well.
Really?
And the way that
I mentioned that before. That's interesting.
And the way that we're contained, and just mind control. Basically, it's a very powerful thing. And before, I don't know. Oh well, before 9/11, if anyone would have tried to tell me that I was under mind control and that any of my thoughts, actions, or reactions were pre-programmed, I never would have believed it.
No,
Not in a million years.
I think exactly the same. I thought I was a free spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's frightening, you know, because there's probably a lot of people still walking around like that.
Because it makes me think now, am I just a different level of that? You know what I mean? I thought I was a free spirit then and I wasn't. I think I'm a free spirit now. Am I going to look back in 5 years and laugh from a completely new perspective?
You never know. And that's why it's important to keep an open mind as well, you know, and not just dismiss things.
Yeah.
You never know. You don't know.
We really don't. There's so much we don't know and we don't understand. The power of our minds. We're only really, I think, even now scratching the surface of what we're capable of. You know, because we've all got a lot of freaking baggage to shed, a lot of trauma just from living, even if lives aren't traumatic, that just the trauma of this society to kind of get over and get past before we even, I think, begin to realise our true power and what we're capable of.
Yeah. I was just thinking today, actually, that my superpower is invisibility.
Is it?
I'm invisible. I fly under the radar all the time. Nobody notices me. Nobody remembers me.
Yeah.
And it
definitely,
serves me well. I use it to my advantage. I do.
there are times I feel like that, and that I feel that I've cloaked myself too well, and I'm going hello, and no one can hear me. Hello, somebody, I'm here. Me and my daughter often talk, funnily enough, I think because it was in something in Twilight, you know, when you become a vampire. Every vampire had a kind of special power, whether it was to read minds or be able to project images into someone else's mind. And we often talk about what our special powers would be.
What's yours, Laura?
Oh, mine is just like, you know, I don't actually think it's a special power I've got to wait for. It's a special power I've already got. It's just being able to see into the heart of things instantly. Do you know what I mean?
Cut through the bullshit.
Yeah.
You've got a special bullshit radar.
Well, it's not even just bullshit. I think it's just I can see things often from so many different perspectives in such a quick succession. I can almost like, well, that could happen, that could happen, that could happen, but this is most likely to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's like troubleshooting I'm really good at troubleshooting. So I can just kind of see all the things that could go wrong, figure it out and figure out the quickest route. You know, and I'll do all that in seconds while people are still just figuring out that first kind of problem. And I'm like, oh no, I thought about that. And yeah, I can
That's
come.
not a bad. It's quite useful.
Yeah, no, it is useful. Some people can find it a bit annoying because I can come across as a bit of a know-it-all, but it's just the way my mind works. Quick sometimes, really slow others.
I don't think it's got anything to do with the fluoride or the lithium or anything. My God. Yeah, it's been. Oh, no, I think it's. Did everybody hear that?
What was that? Yeah, no, I heard something. What was it? One of the kiddies.
No, I've just been check on the boys. I think they just one's woke up. Or maybe it was a cat, like you said. Yeah, there has actually been a cat the last week prowling round trying to get a lift.
Trying to move in.
Well, I always worry when I hear sounds like that because I think it's like Seth waking up in the night, but he's fine. So. What's the time? 22:11. It's really hard for me to work out the time. I have to add an hour on.
10 to 11.
That's not off. Take an hour off. 10 to 11. Mine says 10 to 12.
Oh, you're still set on Sweden time.
It's a Swedish computer, so I'm like, I really don't know how to alter the settings. I'll just leave it as it is. It's only an hour. I just forget which direction it's in.
Yeah, that should be quite easy to change, bless. Okay, you see, you think it'd be really easy to cope with a clock that's just an hour out. You know, you think it's only an hour, I can do that. But it's mad how confusing that can be sometimes.
No, it is. And then, like, especially like in the winter and the summertime and things are going forwards and backwards, and you're like, oh, you always want to compare it to what you know.
Yeah.
It's like you get different sunlight hours and stuff, and
Yeah. Saying about that, what load of nonsense is that? Is that not just, you know, they say it's daylight saving, right? Like this one thing I never got as a kid. You still have the same amount of daylight, regardless whether the sun rises at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, you still get the
Still
same
got
length hours of
same
sunlight.
amount
You've
of
not got
daylight
any more.
in that day. And I never
So you've got up an hour earlier when it's still dark.
yeah.
It's not
You've not
you're still going to get the same amount of hours of sunlight.
that's
Yeah.
it, not gained.
An interesting thing is, I've been asking people why we have sunlight hours or whatever. What's it called?
It's daylight saving.
Daylight saving hours. Thank you. Why do we have it? And every time I ask someone, they give me a different reason.
Oh
And I'm
really?
like, is this like part of the Mandela effect?
So what's your
My reason was because school kids were getting run over.
brilliant.
So,
Never heard that one before.
makes no sense because now they're going to school in the dark but coming home a bit lighter, whereas before they're going to school in the light and coming home a bit darker. So they've still got exactly the same amount of time to get hit by a car in the dark.
Yeah. See, I always thought it was for the farmers.
Okay, somebody else told me for the farmers.
Yeah, because then they can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning instead of 7 o'clock in the morning.
We've got the same amount of sunlight hours.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah,
So we're not saying
to plough his field. He just needs to do it from 7 till 5 and not like 8.
So maybe this is another one of those things just to knock us out of sync with nature.
That was exactly my point. I think it is just a confusion thing, you know, twice a year, just throw them into a little bit of disarray, you know, they fuck with the calendars. We're not in tune properly with like the moon cycles and things, which would be a real nice, easy indication for us if we were allowed to learn it properly. It is just another one of those sense bashing things that gets us all a bit confused. You know, for that week we're all like, oh my god, that hour's really killing me. Something to focus on. Just fucking nonsense, and it's just more nonsense.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah. In fact, I'm actually going to stop putting my clocks forward and back and just live on my own time frame. Fuck everyone else.
I don't actually know what time I'm working on, but I don't move my clocks at all. I just leave them be.
Yeah, you've always been on your own time frame though, haven't you?
I have, yeah, a little bit. I'm always late for things, and I hate being late, but I'm always late. It's like I don't know how I manage.
I know.
No, I'm just like, eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you need to know.
Yeah,
you know,
I love that feeling actually now of not knowing what day it is. You know, when you've lost track of days, you don't know if it's Monday, Tuesday. I love that feeling. No idea what the date is, what month it is. I think that's good.
It is. Yeah. It's not my calendar. I didn't make it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I am like.
Pardon?
I am that way out. Like I hate calendars.
Oh, definitely.
I hate schedules. I hate clocks. I hate anything that you've got to like commit to a time to. I'm like, it's just like something in me is like just bucks against it. Like no.
I think it's the limiting, isn't it? You know, it limits you, and I think because we feel I know trapped or that there's more or whatever, that these things that are more limiting we're more sensitive to, resistant to.
So I'm going to completely flip the subject because talking of time
Yeah.
reminded me of scale, you know, and how we measure things against other things, the size of things.
Mm.
And I don't even remember when it came out now, but no forest.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
Remember that?
I do. No trees on, no forests on flat Earth, wasn't it? So the title didn't really make sense, but
But it was coming from someone whose language is
not
not
English.
so.
Yeah. Again, that was another huge perspective shift, wasn't it? And I loved that. I loved that feeling of being given a completely new way to look at things. And still
Yeah,
to this day, you know, down the beach, a new beach that I'm not used to, I'm looking at the stones and I'm just looking at it in a different way. I love it. That is,
is that a stone? Is it a petrified tree?
yeah, no, it's
Not.
a giant tree. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. You know, rather than um, being told we know what everything is, there's nothing left to explore, nothing left to discover. All of a sudden, we've got this whole plane of
Yeah,
playground to explore and figure out what it is.
it just flipped everything on its head. Like, we already knew that we can't trust NASA,
Yeah,
not just any other space agency. You know, we don't trust the government. And then it's like, well, if science is a fraud, what else is a fraud? And then all of a sudden, someone came out with this, and it's like, actually, we don't know anything. Like,
yeah,
it could be a whole number of different things, but the thing that they've taught us, especially about mountains, that they kind of built over many, many millennia. You know, they build up, they grow from the ground. They're either like dormant volcanoes or each land mass is pushing against each other, rising out from the sea or whatever.
yep,
Yeah. It's something that you could never measure, first of all. Okay, so you've just got to accept it. Because, well, we weren't there 20 million years ago, so
yeah. I know.
what it looked like then. Um, and so it's just another form of conditioning your mind to the reality that you live in. And when you look at it from a different point of view, and I did really like the opening picture of that video. The video that we're talking about is No Forest on Flat Earth, and it was by a Russian guy, I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
But he used a picture at the beginning of the video of a felled tree, a chopped down tree stump next to a daisy. And I kind of got it instantly, you
Yeah,
know, when
yeah,
he showed those two pictures next to each other, and I was like,
yeah,
oh, hang on a minute.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
And it did make me think that Earth is a giant mine. You know, they're mining everything. They're running around and stealing anything that's of any use to anyone.
Yeah,
And when you look at large geographical areas, especially like the Grand Canyon in America, and they say, I don't even, I don't even remember what they told me. I think they told me something hit it, a meteorite hit it, and
yeah.
that
I
got
think that rings a
cold.
bell of some description.
Um,
Right, hit it. There's no meteorite left, but there is the crater that the meteorite left behind.
but now this guy's telling me that no meteorite hit that. This
Yeah.
this could be a giant mine. This could be a giant quarry, you know, or something. And then I'm looking at it, and I used to live next door to a lime quarry.
Right.
It was very small. It was only like 50
Yeah.
meters down. But when I'm looking at it, and then I'm looking at this, like they're two different materials, but
You could see the
it's,
same sort of structure
I
and
think the landscape and that like where the tools have gone in and stuff. And it's like, yeah, this is. I do think that. And then I'm like, I need to watch Avatar.
yeah, yeah, I know.
I need to go back and watch Avatar.
Yeah, Avatar,
It's
God.
like,
Yeah. It's funny because me and my daughter was saying the other day, like about tree houses, just how drawn so many people are to that idea of a tree house. And I think, maybe that's left in our natural environment. That's kind of what we'd choose to live in. And that's, why we're all like, oh yeah, let's all live in a treehouse.
No, I don't know. I can't talk for anybody else, but for myself, spiritually, I definitely feel much better off when I'm connected to nature.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I can see the sky. I can feel the earth beneath my feet. And tree houses have always appealed to me.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. They appeal to everyone.
They're great.
Might be someone that doesn't want a tree house. And, I'll show you someone dead inside. Yeah, no, and that is going back to the avatar. And I just think that's maybe how we're meant to live, much more in tune with nature and grounding. There's scientific evidence to show it works. Didn't need that. I know it works.
Yeah, a major red flag for myself is that we're not taught any survival skills.
Yeah. No survival skills.
We're not
How to survive in this world.
Zero. I nearly did a 666 and zero. Zero survival skills. Like we're not taught how to breathe, first of all, and there's a way of breathing. How there's a better way.
That breathing is something you need to have any kind of control over. Do you know what I mean? It's not even a consideration because you can all just breathe naturally, so you don't need to think about it.
It's just a reflex, and that's it.
Yeah.
Happens. Like if someone knocks your knee with a hammer, it's just a reflex. But I think you can breathe with intent. You can direct that energy. They don't tell us how to grow food. They don't tell us what herbs and what foods are good for us, what's not, what we need to avoid.
No, exactly. And natural medicines. They've got us spraying weeds with Roundup. And weeds are mostly the medicinal plants and the things that are good for us. They've mind fucked us in so many ways.
So many ways.
Yeah, like in every single way. I think you can take any subject.
It's really funny actually because when I was about 12, I found the definition for weed and I was completely surprised because I thought a weed was a certain type of plant, an ugly plant.
Yeah.
That grew and when I found the definition for weed, and all it said was a flower or plant growing somewhere you don't want it to.
Yeah.
And I was, oh, this is all about control.
We are horrible little plants that you must kill and spray with poison.
No, you can have a rose bush growing in a bed of daisies, and the rose bush will be the weed it doesn't fit in there. It's not supposed to be there. We've got a bed of roses. Why is this weed? That.
Yeah, I know. Then there's got to be some connection to marijuana called weed, isn't there, as well?
I think there's some connection between marijuana and the tree of life. There's some hidden knowledge there they've not let us know about. I'm not sure. But I think on a spiritual and on like a biochemical level, we do have a connection to plant life.
Yeah.
Other growing things that we're doing.
Definitely. Well, we can change the structure of water by our thoughts, and plants drink water. So there has to be connections there. And I think, I don't know, when I walk in the woods and things, I just feel like a different energy from the trees. There's a very, very tranquil energy that comes from them.
Yeah, almost like if you tuned into them, or you could tune into them, they could tell you things.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That used to be one of my favourite things on an Enid Blyton. Is it Enid Blyton? The magic faraway tree. Was that the trees used to whisper to each other. And you can really almost believe that when you're walking through a woods and the wind's blowing and you can hear that kind of whispering and that there's some kind of communication going on between them.
Yeah, it's a magical feeling, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah, definitely.
you do feel it. I only live in a small town, but it's classed as a city because there's a university and a cathedral and all the rest of it, but it's only very small. And when I go to bigger places, or even Manchester, the second I get there, I get anxiety.
Yeah.
And I used to think it was because of the amount of people,
Yeah.
because it's so busy, but later on in life, I started thinking, later on in life, I'm not elderly or anything.
Yeah. You old bag.
No, like, as I got a bit older, I started thinking that it's because it's all concrete. There's
Yeah.
no green. And
Yeah.
whatever green is, it's completely contrived. They've made a plan and a plot and put it there, and someone's agreed to it. It's like,
So in London, it is so hard to step on a bit of grass, a bit of turf. Like,
you're not allowed.
no, there's just none anywhere in London.
Oh, there is not.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's nearly impossible to step on a bit of grass in London, like unless you go to one of the big parks. But every street, every garden, like the city as well, that's horrendously concreted and cemented over, and just like no nature, nothing.
Give me 1 minute. I'm coming back. Give me back.
I might as well
We've talked about quite a lot of stuff, Laura.
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
Very interesting chatting with you. Thank you very much.
been nice. Good to talk.
So when is the next FEUK'ers meet? Or can we not say?
Yeah, are we allowed to say? No, there is. There's 4 more actually this year. So I will run through them quickly. So we've got Eastbourne, 22nd to 24th of September. There's once in every 7,000 year star alignment, where the Virgin gives birth, to do with star coming through Virgo's legs. So we've got an observatory there, so that should be interesting. Then we've got Derby, which is our balloon launch again. Our Halloween party in Shell Island in North Wales at the end of October. And then our end of season party, potentially another balloon launch if we don't get it launched in Derby. And that's beginning of November in Yorkshire. So, yeah, busy.
Very busy.
Yeah.
So it's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, and that's it. And, we're trying to get around the whole UK. So it's, there should be one fairly close to everyone at some point or another.
It's really difficult actually because the UK is a bit bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah, I know. It's quite mad, isn't it, actually?
You can drive anywhere within a couple of hours, and actually, no, you can't.
No. Yeah.
For me, it's difficult from the west coast to the east coast. Doesn't matter if it's north, south.
Yeah, the connection really shit, isn't it? Like for me, I've got to go to London to do anything.
Yeah. So unless you've got your own transport, if you've got your own transport, that's great. If you've got your own transport and you're travelling alone and you like some company, put it in group because I'm sure you'll get someone to share petrol with you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been people that have given lifts to people they've never met and made, again, really good friends. You know, it's great when people can bring other people and help us, as many of us get there as possible.
And that's actually always been something that's happened. Like for every meetup that we've had, there's always been someone helping someone else to get there somehow.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
so
great.
that's nice.
That's what I mean, and we all do try to help each other to get there where we can, which is really nice, which is what it should be about.
So they're the last meetups of the year, and then it's the Christmas, winter solstice, New Year, and then we'll probably start doing camps again end of March, maybe. I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
What's
probably. There's potential for a working holiday in Greece. FEUK'ers just joined us. That's got some land out there, a bit of a neglected orchard that needs some work. Might be a nice way to start the season off in Greece.
Oh, that sounds.
Yeah. Next year, I think we're looking at doing 1 or 2 tree festivals. So it will cover many subjects like vaccines and chemtrails and pharmaceuticals, but with flat Earth being the overarching kind of connection of it all, and then that would be open to flat earthers and non-flat earthers, but obviously still having a flat camp area, if you like, our own little part of the camp. But it's growing too big to stay as camps. I think we all want to start spreading the message a bit more. I think a festival is probably the best way to do it while having fun.
Yeah. I mean, that was a big bonus of the last meetup that we did, because we camped alongside a festival, and so there was us flat earthers, but then there was like 500 more regular people just going for a dance at the weekend.
Just there for a good time.
There we were, And the other interesting thing is that at that festival there were some space talks, and some star talks, and then there we were.
And then there we were.
So that was really interesting, because I haven't experienced that before. I've been camping just with other flat earthers, and I never experienced on a big scale.
Yeah,
how we
last year
we interact with other people. It's like.
Yeah, last year we did Stagecraft, didn't we? Which was a smaller festival. And had a stand there. So some of us kind of had that experience of mixing with some flat earthers. But yeah, no, I just think it would be really nice to maybe have stands at a few festivals, just like an exhibition, nothing too heavy, and maybe our own festival would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be nice. To do that. It's something to aim for anyway.
Well, that's it. We've got to grow, haven't we, and train.
What is it to tell us? Aim for the stars, reach for the stars.
Yeah, I keep having that bloody saying go through my head. Build it and they will come. So.
How far away do you think the stars are, or what do you think the stars are? I've just got to say this because I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but I've been on quite a few, and I have never seen a star from an aeroplane at night. I've seen the moon in the evening, and I've actually seen the sun and the moon on the daytime playing, but I've never seen stars from an aeroplane. So I'm just wondering if you can actually see them from up there.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a really interesting thing with our next balloon launch. I'm looking at doing a sunset balloon launch. So potentially the balloon might be up there as it gets dark. So maybe we won't see stars then either.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know. It is weird, isn't it? But
I'm thinking about other balloon footage that I have watched. I don't remember seeing any stars. I've seen the sun. seen the
No.
moon.
No.
I've seen its
It-
rocket for
it is
word, but
It is an interesting one, isn't it, to do with perspective again. I watched a video recently that really has got me thinking again. You know, like when you look at a lake and it's got a hot spot from the sun on it, and it's like, it makes it look like the sun is small and local. If you were stood on the other side of that lake looking back, you wouldn't see that hot spot because the sun would actually be behind you as well.
slightly different perspective.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like if I'm stood this side of the lake, the sun isn't actually above the lake, it's beyond the lake.
So,
So that
yeah,
person at the other
I get
side of the lake isn't going to be seeing that same sunspot. And I don't know, to me that just seems to be
put it out there.
like, you know,
No,
you can only see
I
that
have,
light from certain perspectives. And I'm thinking, you know, the stars, you can only see them from certain perspectives. And
no, it is like that. Like,
um,
where is it? We've got an observatory. That's where you look at the stars in it. What's the other one called? A planetarium. And
yeah,
the planetarium,
planetarium.
that is a projection.
Mm.
You know, from a light source, a projection of the stars onto the roof. And I'm thinking, and I've actually had this thought for a long time, but it's more solidifying it recently because I've not seen any stars from an airplane. That maybe stars are a projection, and you can only see them from ground level. And the whole point of them is so that you can navigate yourself at night, or
They are a projection for us. And I think that's possibly the same for the sun and moon as well, that they are just some kind of projection. And that's why the perspective of where you're seeing it from sort of shifts.
the sun's an interesting one for me personally because I've had so many dreams about the sun and what
Right.
it is, and had a very vivid dream, which felt very real, where I went out one day, everybody was looking up at the sun.
Mm.
I was saying to everybody, what's everyone looking at? What are you looking at? I was like, look at the sun, look at the sun. And I was like, well, what's different about the sun? And what it was, the sun was sending messages to everybody on Earth simultaneously, different messages. Everyone was reading their own information that they needed to read at that time. And nobody had ever realised it before. Nobody ever knew what it was for. But it wasn't a revelation to me in the dream. I was like, oh, well, I've always seen the sun this way.
Yeah.
But as I walked along, I kept bumping into more and more people like me that we'd always seen the sun this way.
Yeah.
Know that nobody else saw the sun like that, and it's really weird. But
Well,
that
that is really, yeah. I was again chatting to my daughter today about photons and intelligent light and how it communicates with our DNA on like a molecular level.
Mm-hmm.
There's things going on we don't understand. You know, like the awakening. I think there's only so much we can do. It's kind of like out of our hands. You know, when someone awakens, it's an energy wave that's hitting them or something to awaken them.
You can't control it, can they? It's like an alarm clock or someone else waking you up. You know?
Yeah, and it would totally explain why they work so hard at blocking the sun. Because if the sun can communicate to us on some level and sort of start to wake people up and things like that, maybe they think by blocking the sunlight, they're just delaying that or preventing some important
Some
step.
important revelation or something
Yeah.
in human history. No, it could be a number of different things, and when it comes to them blocking out the sun, for me, it's not something people can deny. Like, look at the sky, look at the crisscross white lines. Think back to when you was a kid. When do you remember starting seeing these crisscross white lines? And then think about the summers that you used to have. Think about the seasons that used to come and go. They change throughout the year, and they repeat the next year. And we don't get that anymore. It's like spring never comes.
Yeah.
We have a couple of days of summer where everyone gets excited, and then it goes back to being dark again, and then we just roll on into the new school year. You know,
we're having like weird showers in August, and it should be beautiful sunshine.
Yeah, it's not
I
right.
used to love the seasons. You get snow at winter and sun in the summer. It used to be great.
Well, you can't guarantee that anymore, can you? Like it sounds a little bit like you're taking the mickey, but it's not. Like you can't guarantee that anymore.
No, you can have almost all 4 seasons in one day now. It's
Very schizophrenic weather.
mm,
Yeah, no, you can, and you don't. There aren't any seasons.
no.
It's well, it's just rolled into. Well, it's the 14th of September anyway. This day, 14th of September,
Yeah.
mid-September. And when I was still at school, mid-September, beginning to mid-September, you had like 2 weeks hot weather.
Yeah.
That was the end of the summer. You'd just gone back to school.
I remember arguing with the kids' junior school because they wanted them in winter uniform in September. And we were saying, well, that's just ridiculous. It's still summer. They need to still be wearing their summer dresses.
Yeah, it's crazy. And no one noticed the change.
Yeah.
No one noticed when this thing happened, but it happened because you can feel it. And I think it was the same year as 9/11, 2001.
Right, yeah.
So in about October, mid to late October 2001, I was walking to and from work, and I couldn't help noticing so many wasps still about. And it's like, it was that time of year when the seasons changed, the temperatures dropped, and we don't have any like bees and wasps about.
Yeah,
And
the insects kind of disappeared.
the days were long and warm, and these wasps were lingering about, and I was like, God, what's going on? But then, do you know what? Not long after having that thought, I just completely forgot about it for another 5 years or something. And then it's like,
and then there isn't
that water.
Yeah, do you know, I used to jokingly say, oh, there's a favourite saying of mine, if you don't like the English weather, wait 10 minutes. And it was always a bit tongue in cheek, but it's actually like so real now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give it 10 minutes, it will stop raining. Give it 10 minutes, it will start raining. Give it 10 minutes, you'll see a bit of sunshine.
Yeah, it is like that.
Yeah, I know. It's just amazing how many people don't see it. Oh, it's aeroplanes, people going on holiday. Well, why aren't they flying today? Oh, well, no one's going on holiday today.
Everybody's staying home.
We will find to make it okay. It's quite shocking, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird. I find so many things in life just strange, kind of beyond my comprehension. Like I try to comprehend it, but it's like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know how we got here.
The thing that hurts my spirit the most is when I start people watching, and then it's just people gormlessly walking about in drab clothes on a drab day with plastic bags, and I don't know if I said it before, but it's just like,
I used to like people.
when I
Yeah, I was gonna say I used to like people watching, and the quality of people watching now compared to 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean? You could make up interesting stories about people 20 years ago. Now it's all like, oh yeah, they're going home to a meal for one, and they're sad and they're lonely. Everyone's got that kind of head down in the phone.
oh my God, yeah, it is 1984. It's freaking me out, that book. Everybody needs to read it. 1984.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I am going to go source it. I don't know if I can wait for you.
No, it will take me another 2 days to read it, so we probably have it on Monday.
Yeah, I might be able to wait 2 days then. I got
Yeah,
a bit of
I really, it's doing my head in. So sorry.
Yeah, I know. There are so many, though, aren't there?
Yeah.
They do tell us quite clearly what's going on.
Everything that's going on, anything that's gone on or is going on, they always tell you. I don't know who they are, but somebody is telling you, and the
Yeah.
whole philosophy is if you're too dumb not to notice, then you deserve what's coming to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, if you keep falling for it, that's your own
Uh,
fault.
And I kind of agree with it to a certain extent. Like, I don't agree with disabling people and not giving them the knowledge they need to get by in life, you know, like that pisses me off. But like, when someone's walked into the same like brick wall a few times, but then they keep taking the same route, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
find another route, you know, take a different
Yeah. That's
route.
obviously not working for you. Try a different
Yeah,
one.
and then it's like, this whole system's really working, you know.
Mhm. Well, that's it. People say the system's broke, but it's not broke, is it? The system is working exactly as it's meant to.
As it's supposed to, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
um, so I don't want to get all doom and gloom, but
But you're gonna.
would you? I am gonna. Would you say then it's safe to say that humanity is in slavery?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I think people find it hard to comprehend that because they've been given a certain definition of slavery, you know, and it's like, um,
Yeah, I mean, we're not locked in cages. We're like free range slaves, aren't we? Really, we're given a small amount of freedom so that we think we're free. Um, but in actual fact, when you try to break outside of your limitations, there are things that make it difficult. You've got to have a license or a passport or whatever. You know, you can't just go do what you want to do. You've got to get permission to do what you want to do, basically. Please, can I go somewhere on holiday? Oh, well, okay then. Well, no, because 5 years ago you was very, very naughty, so we're not letting you come to our country. No, it's that's
yeah, it's quite obvious then, really, isn't it? Like, because
there
that's
is,
one of. It's quite obvious, really, that humanity is under
yeah,
slavery. So they are shackled mentally, physically, spiritually. It's
yep. I mean,
and
most
that
are in cages in our own minds. You know, it's real clever bit of slavery. They've got us regulating each other as well. You know, if someone doesn't pay tax or something, someone else squills them up. You know, oh, you should pay tax because I pay tax. And there's that real mentality, isn't there? Of
there is.
I'm
That's
suffering,
one of
suffer.
that's one of the big things in the book I'm reading, 1984.
Oh, really?
And it said, well, like in today's day and age, it's not. You know, a regular person can feel the pressure of the family unit being invaded or attacked or whatever.
Mm.
It does. I'm a member of a family. I feel like that. I see where the authorities want to step in and take over your life and make decisions for you, and etc. But in this book, they realised that they couldn't destroy the family. So instead, what they do is they take the children from such a young age into daycare and stuff and just indoctrinate them against the parents so that by the time they get to 10, they're ringing the thought police and dobbing the mum and dad in wanting to kill each
Fucking
other or
hell.
whatever.
It's not a fiction, it's a lesson plan.
No, that's Sweden. No, it is. It's frightening. I can't believe I've never read it, to be honest.
Wow, I
Well,
can't believe
no, I can't read it
it's
because
one of them
I
ones
don't
I've been to and just haven't got. So yeah, so no, it is doom and gloom. We are all slaves. It's hard to break free from the system. It's shit. But you know, there's hope.
But there is hope because there's always drugs. You can always
There's always ways to escape. No, I think you know it is possible to carve out new ways to live. I think it'll be a slow process to get there, but you know, and we can't have a revolution. We can't have that destruction and things because we won't be able to recover from that. I think for me personally, I think, you know, grassroots movements, lots of little communities just coming together. It's not even that you've all got to live together kind of thing, just working together to make your community a better place, and just kind of making the old system not needed anymore.
Yeah,
You know, like,
redundant.
more and more parents take their children out of school. Schools are getting really controlling now, trying to take more authority than the parents. If more and more parents take their children out of school, the schools are going to have to change their approach to encourage parents to want to send their children there again. You know, and I just think that they're the only ways we've got, really, is to try and build something new that makes the old pointless.
Yeah.
It's going to be a slow process.
It could be. I don't know. Do you know what? I think about processes and life processes, and I usually see them as being slow.
Yeah.
But when I look back over the flat Earth movement,
Yeah.
it feels wrong to call it a movement because it doesn't move.
The flat Earth.
Do you know what I mean? That's been rapid.
Yeah.
Been really fast. Like there's been a few, lulls.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
It has like coming waves, and each wave that comes seems to get a little bit bigger. Like
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Definitely. Each wave does seem to be getting bigger. Like you know, if you look back to our meets last year compared to our meets this year, you know, there's been significant just kind of like growth and interest just from talking to people in the group. You know, they're talking again into new jobs and finding flat earthers in new jobs, or partners of bosses of flat earthers. You know, you're just hearing about it more and more as a regular thing. So yeah, I think flat earth it's quite an exponential growth that we're seeing. But I think before that trickles down into society and us changing, I think it's going to be a few years yet. But then I think, you know, there's a tipping point. There is that 100th monkey effect. Once there's enough of us, and you know, other people go, oh, hang on a minute, they're not paying taxes, they're living free, they're growing their own fruit and veg, they're just working for their own community. I want to live like that. I think.
Yeah, and it completely reverses that train of thought. It's still the same train of thought as that's what everyone else is doing, so I'm going to do it. But it's just reversed it onto our side,
onto a positive way. I mean, I guess it's our human nature, isn't it, to be a bit susceptible to follow the crowd or to be accepted in a group. But we've just been too programmed to want to be the same in a group, whereas we're trying to accept people's differences in a group and still be okay with it.
Yeah.
Which is hard, you know. We argue sometimes, it don't always go smoothly.
Focus on the similarities and not the differences.
Yeah, exactly. And actually celebrate differences. It's great that people think differently because it challenges you.
Yeah.
It's so easy to go, oh, well, they're they've got to be flat earthers. Oh, and they've got to be vegans. Oh, and they've got to be urine therapists. And, you know, you can just make your group smaller and smaller and smaller until there's 12 of you all going, yeah, we all think the same.
So that's pretty much how I usually end up, just a group, me or myself then.
Oh. Hey, well, me, I'm all on my own. Yay. Yeah, now I think it's relearning to accept people for who they are and ourselves. Part of that journey is accepting ourselves for who we are, and then we can accept other people for who they are.
Yeah. That is an important point, actually, self-acceptance, because it's not something that's nurtured into us.
Definitely
to
not.
be self-acceptant. The way that we're taught to think and behave is
Yeah, we're taught to think we're never good enough, we're never slim enough, we're never pretty enough, we're never smart enough, we never say the right things. You know, there's so much negativity pushed
exactly.
onto it. So I think that's, you know, flat earth, maybe that's why it's such a big thing, because it is a huge lesson in self-acceptance. Well, it was for me, you know.
I think that's a great place to leave it on it, actually. Self-acceptance.
Yeah, yeah, so I think that sounds pretty good.
No, so we've talked about in the middle to the end and where we're at now, and self-acceptance is a difficult thing for people to learn. It was a difficult thing for me to accept anyway, and I don't know if it took me longer than others, but it felt like it took me longer than others to accept myself the way I am, and
I think it's a long journey.
so it is one of the important ones, you know. So thank you very much for your time and your conversation. Very interesting. And thank you for being my first hangout in so long.
You're welcome. No, it's been really good. I look forward to seeing more.
Oh, it's all right. I've only been trying to get you on air for like 2 years, so
A lot of shit going on there, right?
yeah.
They ain't gonna stop us. We'll
No, it's not.
we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I like a bit of mudslinging. It's fun, isn't it? It's like
It keeps things interesting.
I was just rubbing my breast then. I wasn't, but I was just thinking. I used to watch mud wrestling on a Saturday afternoon. You know, after wrestling, there was
Yeah.
mud wrestling. I loved it. I don't know what that says about me, but
It doesn't actually surprise me, but of course you did.
yeah. So that's it, isn't it? What
Yeah,
does the
no, it's
cream
been
say?
really enjoyed
Good
it.
night, and good night.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Yeah.
The Truman Show. I do think we live in a Truman Show. That's just my thoughts, but
Well, yeah.
it's all bullshit. I don't believe any of it. But it's up to you. Believe what you want.
Yep. We're all on our own paths.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't want to say goodbye, but
I know. Just turn the camera off. We'll carry on.
so yeah. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Good night,
So
honey.
I don't know how to stop the broadcast. I think I have to hang
I'll
up.
just hang up on you then. Hangs up.